Here in Milwaukee, we have a thing for animals. There's Hank the dog, Gertie the duck, Samson the gorilla. But there is one animal who came before all of those. One arguably just as famous, but forgotten over the years. Not tonight, because tonight we're going to introduce you to a lion. Our Ben Handelman says his fame, not just because of where the animal came from, but also where he ended up.
For every good story, there's always a main character.
This is the East Quarter.
Turns out the main branch of the Milwaukee Public Library,
It's part of the original building that opened in 1898.
a building that holds an estimated 3 million tales, is a pretty good character itself.
See the flooring, that's made from little tiny chips of tile, which were laid in the 1890s by Italian artisans.
For 32 years, Dawn Lauber has worked here.
Excuse us. Hi.
She is here to share a story.
Again, this whole floor has been remodeled, so it looks much different than it did in the 1800s.
Part adventure,
We'll go up one flight of stairs this way.
part mystery,
Normally where we're going is off limits, yes.
a tale of nonfiction that leads us to a place in 3 decades
This would have been it.
Lauber has never set foot.
It's definitely in this spot.
No prior experience needed to know we're in the right spot.
We have a photograph that shows him with the museum director right by his pen, and actually in his pen.
Your eyes are not mistaken. That's a lion on the roof of the Milwaukee Public Library. A lion who once lived on the roof of the library. How he got here takes some digging. Not deep in pages, but in old archives. The year 1928. The images you are looking at taken by the director of the Milwaukee Public Museum. Nope, that's not Wisconsin. We're in Africa on an expedition. The team has been traveling the continent looking for things to bring home to display in the Cream City.
They brought back, 300 animals, over 1,000 plants, and cultural artifacts. In this photo,
Local librarian Daniel Lee is an expert in the 1928-29 Cudahy-Massey expedition. Turns out there was one item the group grew especially fond of.
and they brought back one live lion. They named him Simba, which is Swahili for lion.
Offered up by a local tribe, Simba became the mascot of the explorers. At their grand return from faraway lands, thousands came to meet their newest resident. At the time, the Public Museum shared space with the library.
Playful Sim scares crowd. Reception committee backs away as cage door is opened.
The popular cub an instant hit with the crowds. Unfortunately, the feeling was not mutual.
He wasn't used to, thousands of visitors visiting the museum, and several dozen people, were actually grabbed his head, they grabbed his paws, they yanked on his tail, and, well, cats they can be easily rattled.
Sim needed a home, and quick. The museum's director, Dr. Samuel Barrett, made sure to keep his prized possession close. A lion pen was built on the building's roof.
Feed freely with well-cooked meat.
Just like your house cat, even African cats are hard to please.
I guess he didn't really care to spend time here. He'd rather be with the humans that he had come to know.
And as soon as the door opened, he would just race down the stairs to the taxidermy studio where his permanent home was on the 4th floor.
Let's see, is that one still labeled?
A cat who loved the room where animals are stuffed. That room hasn't changed much in 85 years.
Yep.
The 4th floor of the library is now used for storage space. 85 years ago, the hallway was used as an exercise room for Sim.
Museum staff would roll bowling balls, up and down the long hallway, and he would just simply chase after it.
Staff would later learn bowling balls don't make for healthy cats.
He damaged his teeth and his jaws swelled up.
After about a year in the library, Sim came here to what used to be the Washington Park Zoo for some emergency treatment of his teeth. Those teeth would bother Sim for the rest of his life, and he stayed here until his death in 1943. But that's not where this story ends. After all these years, Simba hasn't moved far.
He had such a loyal following.
The cat that loved to be with the taxidermist,
He was very important to have back here.
still gets to hang out with one. Inside the Public Museum, Simba is still looking out for his old friends. Just be careful if you visit him with a bowling ball. A lion who lived in the library, proving sometimes the best stories are not found in the books. With photojournalist Anthony Panicucci, Ben Handelman, Fox 6 News.
It's the only cub that's ever been cheered in Milwaukee. You can visit Simba the lion inside the Africa exhibit on the 3rd floor of the Milwaukee Public Museum. And if you'd like to learn more at fox6now.com, we posted additional footage as well as when you can go behind the scenes to see Simba's former home in the library. How about that? Good.
Had to stick that in there,
work.
though,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, but
Brewers fan.
I've seen Simba in the museum. I never knew the backstory.
Never knew the story. How interesting is that? Very cool. Well, new